to tell me for a certain what is best for me. Now I am your discipline and a soul
Disciple.
disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me.
Okay, so this is the famous shloka called seventh shloka of the second chapter, where this very famous word is used. Yat shreyasam, yat shreyasyan shan nishchitam bruhitan me shishyasteham shadimam tam prapannam. So this is a very famous shloka. Srila Prabhupada, the founder of Iskcon, would frequently quote this. He said that the moment somebody goes to Krishna and says this shloka, I'm your servant, I'm your disciple, I'm your shishya, I'm your student, I'm surrendered unto you. Please guide me, instruct me. Krishna will immediately start doing it. Immediately Krishna will start doing it. As soon as we go to Krishna and offer this prayer. So this is a very powerful shloka of the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, shloka number 7. But it's interesting that in the Krishna's first words that he speaks to Arjuna in this entire Bhagavad Gita is chapter 2, shloka number 2. That's not mentioned in this PPT. I'll just read it for you briefly so that you can understand. What is the first shloka spoken by Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita? Here in the second shloka of the Bhagavad, second chapter, Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha means the Supreme Lord said, Kutastva Kashmalam Midam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Justam Asvargyam Akirti Karam Arjuna. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, how is it that you have suddenly become so weak? How is it that you're having very contaminated ideas, very wrong ideas? What happened to you, Arjuna? I didn't expect this from you. So this is the first shloka that Krishna says. But please understand the mood in which Krishna is speaking. Krishna is saying, Arjuna, I never expected that you will be affected by seeing your relatives in this manner. Uh, um, this is not expected of a Kshatriya who's about to fight a big battle like this. So Krishna expresses some surprise. But please understand, in this shloka also, Krishna shows his love for Arjuna. He doesn't chastise him, doesn't scold him, doesn't criticize him, doesn't, mm, what is the right word? Uh, doesn't, make fun. Nothing. Krishna, even then, after Arjuna says that I cannot fight this battle, even then Krishna shows his loving feeling towards Arjuna and says, my dear Arjuna, I didn't expect this from you, but all right, let me explain to you. That's how he says. Then subsequently, Arjuna goes to shloka number 7, where he says, very nice word, Shishyasteyam Shadimam Tavam Prapannam. Arjuna uses the word Shishya, I'm your disciple, I'm your servant, I'm completely dependent on you. And by the way, I've also surrendered to you because I don't know how to solve this problem. I really have no idea how to solve this problem in my mind. Will you kindly help me, Krishna? Will you kindly help me, Krishna? What is it we have to learn from this? What can we learn? What is a life lesson we can learn?
When situation is not in our hands, we should just worship Krishna so that he will help us. He will show us a way.
Yeah, something like that. See, what we have to do is that when in trouble, turn towards Krishna. When in trouble, turn towards Krishna. Krishna will help. All right. Next slide. See, this is a very important message from Krishna. See, one important thing about Krishna, Krishna never shuts the door. Do you understand what I'm saying? In the material world, people may shut the door. When relationships go bad, they'll shut the door. They'll say, get out of my life. Or they will, I don't care what happens to you. And they even fight when they have disagreements. Krishna is not like that. Arjuna has some kind of a disagreement with Krishna. He's asking Krishna, how can I fight? How can you ask me to fight this battle? I'm completely confused. So Krishna says, all right, give me a chance. I'll explain to you. But he will wait till Arjuna surrenders. He will wait till Arjuna surrenders. Only when Arjuna says, Shishyasteyam Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. In other words, we have to give up. See, it's like we cannot go to Krishna and say, this is what I'm thinking, this is what I want to do. I hope it's okay with you. It doesn't work like that. We go to Krishna and say, I'm confused. I don't know. I don't know. Can you please guide me? Okay. Next slide. Yes, somebody can read.
It takes a lot of courage and humility to accept failure and one's own weakness. But unless we accept it, we cannot succeed in life.
Yeah. So,
Success
yeah, go ahead.
has
Success.
many fathers, but failure is an orphan. Every failure is just another step closer to it.
Yeah. So here, Arjuna is confused, but there's need for some honesty. In other words, Arjuna should go to Krishna and say, I'm confused, I don't know what to do, I don't know what's the right decision to make. I don't want to kill my guru. I don't want to kill my grandfather. I don't want to kill my friends, cousins, nephews, friends. I mean, people who I grew up with. I don't want to kill them. Even if it's for a kingdom, I don't want to kill them. So will you kindly help me? I'm terribly confused. So the golden formula is go to Krishna when you're in trouble. Shall I tell you another formula? The general way of stating this formula is go to Krishna when you're in trouble. If you twist that formula a little bit, can someone try twisting that formula? Go to Krishna when you're in trouble.
Go to Krishna
Krishna comes to you when
when
you are
you're
in
even
trouble.
not in trouble.
What's that?
Krishna
Twist
comes
it a
to you
little.
when you are in trouble.
Krishna comes to you when you're in trouble. Twist it a little more. You're almost there.
Krishna is always with you.
Okay, with Krishna. Oh, you almost got it. So it's like this. Go to Krishna when you're in trouble. Krishna is always there when you're in trouble. And if you're always with Krishna, you don't have any trouble.
Krishna is waiting whenever we'll fall in trouble. Like he knows that, okay, my child will come to me.
That's right. But I'm saying twist it a little. I'm saying
Lord Krishna
if
is
you're
your
always with Krishna,
Krishna is
if
with
you're
her.
always with Krishna, tell me if you're always Krishna.
Krishna is with us even if we are in the trouble or if we are not in the trouble.
No, if you're always with Krishna, there is no trouble.
Krishna will not let you in trouble. If you trust Krishna, he will not.
That's the right way. I'm happy you're saying that. If you're always with Krishna, you'll never be in trouble because even if some trouble comes by, Krishna will take care of it. Even if some trouble comes calling into your life unexpectedly, Krishna will take care of it. Krishna will certainly take care of it. Okay, next slide. So, if there's anything we can learn from this, be very near Krishna all the time. So that in case we are in trouble, you can reach out to him easily. And best is to always be under the shelter of Krishna. If you're always carrying an umbrella, even if it suddenly starts raining, you never get wet. Otherwise, you're going around and then you have to look for an umbrella and suddenly starts raining, you look for an umbrella. So here we are trying to say, don't have to look, be with Krishna always. All right. So somebody can read this quickly.
To be progressing in life, it is essential to cultivate humility because it protects us from being falsely proud of our accomplishments and strengths, which otherwise can provide return in another situation or environment.
Okay. So here you are. So here it is said that it is essential to cultivate humility. What is the meaning of humility? Can someone tell me? As in whatever way you understand, quickly tell me. What's the meaning of humility?
Insulting someone.
Being kind to
No,
others.
no, 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 no. It's humility.
Being humble.
Getting insulted.
Yes.
Being humble.
Yes. See, being humble. I'll tell you, in practice, the meaning of the word humility is you are ready to be corrected by anybody, anytime. That's a sign of humility. A sign of pride and arrogance is that if someone comes and tells you, hey, I don't think you got it right, maybe this is the right way of doing that, you become angry. Sign of humility is, what will you tell when someone tells you, yeah, I think you didn't get it right. Maybe you were wrong on that. What will we tell such a person? If you're humble, what will you tell him?
Thank you for correcting me.
Yes, thank you for correcting me. I'm grateful to you. I'm grateful to you. Thank you for correcting. Real humility means willingness to be willingness. No, not just willingness. Willing to accept correction from anybody, not just from uh, you know, not just from somebody who's very big or like that whom you're scared of. No, humility means to understand that I could go wrong anytime. And if someone is trying to tell me, Prabhu, whatever, my dear child, child, you've gone wrong here. You shouldn't have spoken like that. You shouldn't have understood like that. You should have verified before speaking. You should have verified before making an allegation. Then you tell them, I'm sorry, I acted in a haste. I acted in a hurry. Thank you for correcting me. So Arjuna is telling Krishna, I don't know how to act now. Will you please guide me? I don't know how to act now. Should I kill my father? Should I kill my father's grandfathers, uncles, guru, my cousins, my nephews? Should I kill them just for a kingdom? And by the way, the last 13 years, we didn't have a kingdom. And I can continue to live like that in some forest or some place. Why should I kill people? So I don't know how to act. Please guide me, Krishna. Next slide. So this is an amazing quality. I'd like all of you to make a note somewhere. The quality of humility. Okay. The quality of humility. Hey, Trilokeshwari, is there a streaming going on YouTube or something?
Hi Krishna Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. There is a stream going on YouTube.
Some people have joined there also?
Yes, Prabhu. Around 10-15 people are there, Prabhu.
Okay, because we seem to have a limit of 100, is it here?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu, today. Only for today, Prabhu.
Okay, tomorrow it will be back to 200 or something?
Yes, Prabhu. Tomorrow it will be 200.
Okay, fine. Fine. Because last 2 days I saw 140 people attending, so I was wondering a little what happened. All right. So, by the way, it's very interesting to see that Arjuna says, "I'm confused. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what is right, what is wrong. Will you help me, Krishna?" And then from chapter 2, sloka number 8, Krishna starts speaking and instructing Arjuna. Let's see what are the instructions that Krishna gives to Arjuna. Next slide. Actually, it's very interesting. Krishna speaks for the next, from chapter 2, from shloka number 2 to second chapter, 8th shloka to second chapter, 53rd shloka, Krishna speaks non-stop. Arjuna speaks only second chapter, 54th shloka. That means something like 45 shlokas continuously Krishna speaks to Arjuna. Let's see what Krishna is telling Arjuna. Let's see what he's saying, telling Arjuna. Okay, here we go. Next slide. Somebody can read this translation.
As the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from the body to lead to the
The
ultimate
soul
soul,
similarly
similarly
passes into
passes
another
into
body.
another body.
A sober person
A
is not
sober
affected
person is
by
not
such a change.
Okay, what do you understand from this? Can somebody tell me? What is Krishna telling here?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Krishna is saying that from our birth to our death, the body has passed through some changes. In the same way, we also change. The soul also changes the bodies.
Exactly. So, what does it mean? What do we learn from this about the soul and the body?
Everything is not permanent except Krishna.
No, the soul is permanent. Krishna
The soul is
definitely.
permanent. Body is not.
We are not the
We have
body, we are the soul.
transformations. We change from one body to another body, but our soul is permanent.
Yes, soul is permanent. Got it? The soul never dies. Okay, next slide. So Krishna is instructing for almost 38 or 39 shlokas continuously to Arjuna. All right. So this is what Krishna is instructing. So can somebody read here?
Gross body
Composition of
made up of 5 material elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether, separated and destroyed at death. Subtle body made up of mind, intelligence, and false ego, separated at liberation. Soul, Atma, V, Sat, eternal, Sit, full of knowledge, Ananda, blissful. After death, subtle body and soul goes to next gross body. Example, old shed to new shed. The soul, Sat, Sit, and Ananda. The gross body, earth, water, air, fire, and ether. The subtle body, mind, false ego, and intelligence.
Yeah. Okay. Now let me summarize. Don't get confused. I'll summarize for you. Chit, Sat, Chit, Ananda. Okay. It's not Sit. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Okay. Now let me come to this. So it said that basically Krishna is for the first time in the Bhagavad Gita is introducing us to the concept of two bodies. Gross body, which is made up of earth, water, earth. What is it called? Earth, water, fire, air, ether, or sky. The 5 elements, material elements. That is the gross body. Gross body means the body we can touch, the body that we can touch. All of us have gross body, even animals have gross body. But there's another body called subtle body. Subtle. Subtle means sukshma. We cannot see it, but we know it definitely exists. Yes, there is Panchabhuta body and there is Sukshma Bhuta body. Sukshma means you cannot see. It's like right now there is waves, radio waves go in the air. You bring a television and turn it on, the television knows how to catch those waves. But you and I cannot catch those waves. So it does, and we cannot see these waves. We cannot perceive the presence of these waves unless we bring a television. Definitely these waves, like the air waves, or shall we say the mobile towers, they also generate electromagnetic waves. No, Sukshma does not mean macro things. Sukshma means things that cannot be detected by human eyes or sense of touch or taste. By nose, eyes, ears, sense of touch, you cannot detect. Sukshma means it is there, but you cannot detect. All right, like the airwaves generated by the mobile towers, the electromagnetic waves. Can you see them? Can you feel them? Can you somehow find out their exist? No, you cannot, but they are there. You got what I'm saying? They are there. So the same way, Sukshma body. Krishna says there's a gross body. Gross body means the body that we can touch and feel. Inside that gross body, there's a subtle body. Okay? Subtle body means mind, body, mind, intelligence. Basically, the mind, the intelligence, the memory, the sense of judgment, ability to judge, think, feel, understand, analyze. All these capacities are in the mind, but you cannot see them. So it's mind, intelligence, and ego. Ego means sense of identity. I am Vardha Krishna Das. Somebody is Rupika Singh. Somebody is Harshini. Somebody is Maitreyi. Somebody is Anupama. The sense of identification, that is also there. Okay. So this is the subtle body. But then there's a third entity. What is the third entity? That is the Atma. So the first layer on the Atma is subtle body. The second layer on the Atma is gross body. What happened? You can't hear my voice? Haribol, can you hear me? Can someone say?
Prabhuji. Yes.
Yes, Prabhu, you are audible.
Prabhuji, but what is this separated liberation in the subtle body?
Yeah, I'll tell you. See, separated liberation means you carry the soul carries the subtle body, birth after birth. Only when we go back to Krishna, shall we say Vaikuntha, go back to Krishna, then we no longer have subtle body. It does not mean we won't have intelligence. The intelligence will be a part of the soul. You get what I'm saying? It's not external to the soul. The soul has its own intelligence. So you don't need a subtle body. So you become free from mind, intelligence, ego. In one sense, when you get liberated and go back to Krishna Loka or Vaikuntha. We'll deal with it at a later stage. I can't explain in the second chapter. You park that question in your mind. We will deal with it at a later stage. Right now, let us focus only on three things: the gross body, subtle body, Atma. Now, when the subtle body gets separated, we'll deal with it later on. Maybe in the eighth or ninth chapter, we will deal with it, and maybe in the 13th chapter, we'll deal with it. So there, Krishna answers these questions. Right now, we deal with three things. What are those three things?
Gross body, subtle body, and soul.
Yeah. Out of which is eternal?
Soul.
Yeah, soul is eternal. The subtle body will be there only as long as we have a material body. Subtle body will be there only as long as we have a material body. When we go back to Krishna, we don't need the subtle body. So three things: body, subtle body, and soul. Soul never dies. Soul takes the subtle body. Soul does not take the gross body. Soul cannot take earth, water, fire, air, and sky, ether, sky. Soul takes the subtle body. Subtle body means intelligence, memory, to some extent. Intelligence, memory, sense of identification. And definitely the soul takes the karma to the next life. Definitely the soul takes the karma. Next slide. About that, we should not have any doubts. The soul will definitely take the karma. Next slide. Yes, somebody can read the translation.
The soul can never be touched by any weapon, not by fire, nor moistened by water, nor
withered by the wind. So, the soul is an anti-material particle of life. Soul cannot be burnt, soul cannot be cut, soul cannot be injured. The soul cannot be, body can be. The soul cannot be drowned. The soul never dies. Soul cannot be divided. The soul never dies. That's what we really are. Soul cannot. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, my dear Arjuna, where have you seen? You seem to have forgotten the nature of the soul. Why are you talking like this? So from shloka number 11, actually, from shloka number 11 up to shloka number 53, Krishna is speaking non-stop about the soul. And then Arjuna asks a question in 54th shloka. What is that question? We will see. Next slide. Yes. Now, can you all summarize what is the qualities of the soul as given in the Bhagavad Gita by Krishna directly? Yes. Somebody can read. What are the qualities of the soul? Here, let's hear from Krishna directly.
Seated in the heart, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, seeker of God, fireproof, waterproof, unbreakable, travels from one body to another, unchanging, does not undergo six kinds of changes, conscious, size 1 by 10,000 or the tip of a hair.
Yeah. So we are summarizing because please understand, we are only doing a summary study of the second chapter, introduction to the second chapter. These are the qualities of a soul as mentioned and as described by Krishna. Soul never dies, soul never cannot be cut, soul cannot be divided, soul cannot be burnt, soul cannot be drowned, soul cannot be injured. Soul is always full of consciousness. The consciousness of this body comes from the presence of the soul. So what is the meaning of death? Death means when the soul leaves this body, we lose our consciousness. We lose our consciousness. We see the body there, but we say this body is dead. It is no longer conscious because the soul has left that body and gone. The soul has left that body and gone. That is what is defined as death. And the soul, because the soul doesn't die, the body dies. In the sense, body is left alone. The soul leaves the body behind. So that is what is called death. The soul enters another body because the soul never dies. What will the soul take? The soul will take the subtle body. The soul will take karma also. This is very interesting. The soul will take karma, good, bad, the good karma, the bad karma, the ugly karma, everything. Completely, the soul will take the karma to the next life. In fact, what is the type of body we get is also decided by karma, isn't it? Whether we get the life body of a devata, a kshatriya, a king, a servant, whatever type of body we get also is decided by our karma. So quickly summarize the qualities of the soul. This we have to understand before we move forward. Second chapter, most important instruction is the nature of the soul. Quickly summarize, what do we understand? Quickly. Yes, does not undergo the six kind of changes. No, the soul does not. Soul is not born, soul does not grow, soul does not reproduce, soul does not sustain for some time, soul does not dwindle, soul does not die. The six types of changes that are seen in a material body, in a life of any body. But it's not the soul. It may appear that the soul is going through changes. You understand? The soul and the body connection is so perfectly engineered by Krishna, so perfectly done. It will appear as if it's the soul which is changing. Isn't it? Isn't that how it appears to us?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, I have a doubt.
Yes.
You said that soul cannot sustain for a limit time. If I die now, did my soul join into another body within fraction of seconds?
No. It does not happen in a fraction of a second. That's a nice question. I'll answer this when we're doing a little later chapter in detail. How does the soul get another body? It is a science. It is explained by Krishna. So there is a particular time when the soul will still be around that body, and so on. And then there is a samskara, Vedic samskara, which has been performed, telling the soul, now you please go. Your time in this body is over, you have to go. So that samskara has to be performed. Otherwise, the soul will still hang around there. If that samskara is not performed, you understand, it will hang around there. That is why they say some old houses where somebody has died by suicide, accident, fire, something, the soul is still hanging around. Because the soul doesn't go away. Because a proper samskara, closure has not been done. Okay, good question. So, normally speaking, the soul goes, enters another body, and takes the karma. And the interesting thing Krishna says is, it may enter any type of body based on karma. Sometimes it may even become an animal. 84 lakh species are there. It may even become animal. See, there are a lot of questions coming in. Can you please save the questions? I'll answer them after the class. I don't want to get deviated because it's a long chapter. I want to finish it today. Then we'll have 5-10 minutes towards question answers. So you now understand the qualities of the soul, isn't it? Can somebody repeat quickly? What are the qualities of a soul?
Seated in the heart, eternal, full of knowledge and full of bliss, seeker of God, fireproof, waterproof, unbreakable, travels from body to another, unchanging, does not undergo six kinds of changes, conscious, size 1 by 1000, 10,000, the tip of hair.
Yes. So, see, two interesting things there. Seeker of God. See, I'll tell you why the soul seeks God. Because originally the soul comes from God, from Krishna. Mama Vamsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Samanatanana. Krishna says all the souls in this world, whether in the spiritual world or material world, all come from me. They're my parts and parcels. They're emanated. They're produced by me. So we're actually connected to Krishna. Krishna is our origin. Krishna is the source. Krishna is where we come from. Krishna is where? Krishna is our creator. Krishna is our sustainer. Hence, we have a natural tendency to look for our Father, Krishna. We're a seeker of God. And which is why in the material world, no matter what you do, you'll never be fully satisfied. We can be fully satisfied only with God. Because any other form of relationship does not. See, we're looking for our creator and we get related to somebody else. How will that satisfy? Temporarily, for some time, we may find some pleasure in that relationship, but after some time, it will crack. That relationship will crack. Our ultimate shelter, ultimate what person we are looking for is God. Next slide. Yes, somebody can read quickly.
The spirit soul is eternal and indestructible, while material nature is temporary. Because of this, one should not be bewildered by the inevitable destruction of the material body. Rather, one should remain fixed in prescribed duties which purify and allow one to realize the eternal self.
All right, so this is where Krishna is preaching to Arjuna. He says, "All right, my dear son, my dear child, Arjuna, my dear child, my very dear child. So, why are you worried? Because you're really not going to kill anybody. You think Bhishma will die? No. All of them, their souls will leave their body and enter another body as per their karma. And because you don't fight this war, does it mean Bhishma will live eternally? Bhishma is different. Duryodhana will live eternally. No, he will die someday. As as per his karma, when the duration of his life is over, everybody dies. So you really don't kill anybody. You're just giving them another body. They exit from this body, get another body. Now, I'm not saying you can say this in a court of law and say, it says in the Bhagavad Gita, you can kill anybody because you're really not killing because soul is eternal. No, 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 no. Yeah, we cannot say like that. It has to be responsible. Any war or battle or killing should be sanctioned by Dharma, should be sanctioned ultimately by Krishna. You understand what I'm saying? We can't be responsible. We cannot be responsible. It has to be sanctioned by Dharma and Krishna. Only then we can take life of somebody. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, what are you lamenting about, my dear Arjuna? I am here. I am the one who's responsible for this battle. I'm asking you to fight. Suddenly come back and tell me, oh, I don't want to kill all these people. Like that, Krishna asks Arjuna, so what's going on in your mind? You're a Kshatriya, by the way. Your primary duty is to protect Dharma, protect the devotees, protect, carry out my instructions, protect society, protect women, protect old people, protect truthfulness, protect the saintly people. And you should be ready to give up your life also in the course of protecting them. Now, why are you speaking something very silly? Why are you saying you won't fight this war? This war is not being fought by two cousins and relatives. This war is being fought for Dharma. Dharma on one side or Dharma on the other side. And what's happened to you? Why are you saying you won't fight this war? This is what Krishna is asking Arjuna. Do you understand what I'm saying? So what is it that Krishna is asking Arjuna? Can you quickly summarize? Can somebody summarize? What is Krishna asking Arjuna?
He want to accept the truth that
To Arjuna, and as the Kshatriya, he has to fulfill his duties and not back off. He should have
Exactly,
all.
you can't back off. Kshatriya's duty is to protect Dharma, protect devotees, protect elderly people, protect the kingdom from, miscreants, demons, etc. fearlessly. And sometimes if it means he has to inflict death upon somebody who's an enemy of Dharma, so be it. Be ready, do it. You're not doing for yourself. But if you were to do it for yourself, for your sense pleasure, you want to capture something that he has, like Ravana wanted to kill everybody and take all the beautiful women and put them in Lanka. That is nonsense. That Krishna may not allow. That's why he comes as Lord Ramachandra, incarnation, and confronts Ravana. That is not allowed. Dharma Yuddha, definitely allowed. Next line. So what happens to the soul? There you are. Krishna introduces the concept of reincarnation. So soul is born again, which is called reincarnation. Yes, read the sloka. Translation.
One who has taken his birth is due to die, and after death, one is due to take birth again.
Simple
Therefore,
as
in
that.
the avoidable discharge of your duty, you should not be lament.
We should not lament. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, everybody who is fighting this war, either they go back to the heavenly kingdom, or if they are born again, they will be born again. And because they participated in a Dharma Yuddha, actually they'll get a better birth. They'll actually get a better birth. You are helping them get a better birth, Arjuna. What are you crying about? So the soul never dies. So soul enters another body. That is called reincarnation. The interesting thing is even Christianity supports the concept of reincarnation. It used to originally. Reincarnation. Christianity also supports. But in our Vedic literature, it's perfectly and clearly explained. Soul is eternal. This body, it leaves. So where will it go? It will take another body based on karma. Simple, straightforward logic. It will take another karma, it will take another body as per karma until it goes back to Krishna. Krishna says, once you come to me, you will not be born again. Mamupechit kaunteya punar janma na vidyate. You come back to me, there's no punar janma, you will not be born again. You live with me eternally. That is called liberation. That is called mukti. Okay, did you get it? Next slide. Yes, there are two types of dharma. Please read. Please read.
Swadharma, dharma to its body. Nitya dharma, Sanatana dharma, dharma of soul, chanting, reading Bhagavad Gita, devotional service.
Yes, there are two types of dharma. Swadharma means as a husband, as a father, as a wife, as a mother, as a child, as a student, as a teacher. There's Swadharma based on your profession and activities. Then there is Nitya Dharma. There's something called Nitya Dharma. Nitya Dharma means this is Dharma no matter what you are. In this life, you may be a king, next life, soldier, next life, general, next life, lawyer, next life, businessman. There is something called Nitya Dharma. Nitya Dharma is you should follow the instructions of Krishna. You should understand about God. You should lead a life without incurring bad karma. You should learn how to follow instructions of God and lead a life of devotion. Lead a life of devotion. That is Nitya Dharma. No matter what type of body you have, you follow the Nitya Dharma. Swadharma is specific to that particular body. So in every body you have Nitya Dharma, Swadharma. Swadharma means you may be a mother, you may be a child, you may be a nurse, you may be a doctor. So there is Swadharma based on the profession that you have, based on what occupation you have. Nitya Dharma is whether you're a doctor, lawyer, you're a politician, you're anything. There is Nitya Dharma. You should understand Krishna's instruction, try to follow, understand your soul. You're going to leave this body, prepare yourself for the next body, lead a life without bad karma. That's called Nitya Dharma. Next. Yes, do not neglect your higher dharma. Read the translation.
Do not neglect your higher dharma. Neglecting our Sanatan dharma and only performing the Swadharma is like decorrecting the cage but not caring for the bird inside.
Yeah. So imagine you have a bird in a cage. So you're polishing the cage, you're taking care of it, you're dusting it, but you're not feeding the bird inside. So if you're completely absorbed in Swadharma and you're ignoring Nitya Dharma, then the soul is left starving. The soul is left starving. The soul suffers. So there should be balance. You should take care of the cage. You should also take care of the bird in the cage. Taking care of the bird in the cage means taking care of Dharma. Krishna's instructions, because the soul can never be satisfied with anything other than service of Krishna. You can try. You can try. Prabhupada explains it's like the fish out of water. You take the fish out of water and give it Coca-Cola, ice cream, I don't know what else. Give it a mobile phone, iPhone, iPad, whatever they call it, AirPads, anything you give. You think the fish will be happy? The fish will be happy only when it goes back to water. Same way, we can never be satisfied unless we go back to Krishna. Which has higher weightage? It is revealed in the 12th chapter, but I'll give you a hint. See, Nitya Dharma, we can perform. Sorry, Swadharma, we can perform. But if you perform Swadharma perfectly and ignore Nitya Dharma, you tell me what happens. It's like the bird starving. Okay? Tell me what happens. The cage is fine, bird is starving. Operation is successful, but the patient died. The cage is beautiful, but the bird inside is starving. So that's the difference. You tell me weightage should be equal. Actually, there should be more weightage for Nitya Dharma. Next slide. Yes, both has to be balanced, but more emphasis on Nitya Dharma. So there's something called the lower taste, something called the higher taste. Next slide. There's something called the lower taste, something called the higher taste. So Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2, shloka number 62. It's a different topic. Okay. First, Krishna explains about why is Arjuna feeling so weak and confused. Then Krishna explains about the soul. Then after Krishna explains the soul, Arjuna asks one question. In chapter 2, shloka number 54, Arjuna asks a question saying, all right, Krishna, I understand what you're saying, that I have to be worried about the soul. I shouldn't be worried about, so much about consequences of my action in protecting dharma. While I'm protecting dharma, some people may die, some people may. I'll try my best to avoid killing, but sometimes it becomes unavoidable. So that happens. But tell me now, Krishna, how does a good devotee of yours behave? What are his habits? How can we recognize him? How does he talk? How does he act? If he's in a situation like I am in, how would he act? Krishna says, all right, now I know why you're asking this question. You want to know what a person in your type of situation should do. Then Krishna explains. Krishna explains from chapter 2, shloka number 54 onwards, how a sadhu, a perfect devotee, will act. So in the course of explaining, Krishna explains lower taste, higher taste. Krishna says there are two types of happiness in this world. One temporary, which comes from the lower taste. Now, what is that lower taste happiness? Somebody can read quickly.
Sense objects, contemplation, attachment increases to lust, unfulfilled anger, characterized by unrestricted sense, indulgence. Happiness derived is temporary and harmful for oneself and everyone.
There you are. So Krishna is saying, hey, listen, there are two types of happiness. First, you understand this, Arjuna. One happiness that you derive out of your senses, sense of the tongue, sense of the skin, sense of eyes. You like to see beautiful objects, beautiful things. Then sense of smell, taste. Then, whatever, skin, everything, like that. So the happiness you get by indulging, that means by experiencing through these senses, is called lower taste. That even the animals get. It's not called higher taste, it's lower taste. By the way, such lower taste happiness does not last long. It is temporary. Prabhupada gives an example. If you're hungry, you eat a rasgulla. Then you eat 2, then you eat 3, then you eat 4, then you eat 5. What do you feel after the 5th rasgulla compared to the first rasgulla? Tell me.
Stomach's full.
Yeah. How does it? How
We
do you
can't
feel
take
of
it
taking it
more.
on? Huh?
It's frustrating. We can't eat more.
Exactly.
The
So
taste
Prabhupada
gradually
explains this type of happiness is temporary. It exponentially decreases any type of happiness that is, yes, law of diminishing happiness, pleasure. Any type of happiness that is derived from your senses, it will diminish. The happiness you get will diminish. That's why it's called lower taste. And by the way, these lower tastes generally, they have some bad effects eventually. If you overeat, you know what will happen. If you overindulge in something, you know what will happen. All these come with a price. You understand what I'm saying? They're not free, they appear free. You may think I can do whatever I like. Just do it. That's the slogan these days. Go ahead and do it. Whatever. It doesn't work like that. In this world, every pleasure, you have to pay for it. Especially lower type of pleasure, you will have to pay. The bill will come later on. Postpaid bill. It will definitely come. And by the way, the happiness you derive is diminishing. One has to be careful. Krishna calls it lower taste. Next slide. Actually, there is the lower tastes are described in the starting from the 7th chapter all the way up to 17th chapter. These two contrasting things are there: lower taste, higher taste, lower taste, higher taste. Which is better? Because we are always victims of one of the tastes. Because we are completely helplessly. Sometimes we are sucked into lower taste, as if someone is pushing us, though we may not want, though we may not need, though we know it's probably wrong, but we are pushed into lower taste. So Krishna is saying how to deal with it. I'll tell you. I'll teach you how to deal with it. Krishna is saying. Next slide. And because of frustration, because your lower tastes are not satisfied, because there is diminishing return, You go crazy. Then you try a new variation. Boy and girl, they meet. The boy loves, apparently, it appears like the boy loves the girl loves the boy, and they live together. But after some time, because their like is based on lower taste, they become tired of each other. And then the boy will look for someone else, or the girl, he will abandon the girl or look for someone else or someone else. So lower taste will an uh, an activity which is trying to satisfy lower taste will never end with a good result. What am I saying? Tell me, please repeat. An activity which is directed towards satisfying your lower taste will never end with a good result. Tell me, please repeat.
An activity
An
which is
activity.
Yes, go ahead. An activity.
an activity
An
which is
activity which is toward the lower taste doesn't have a good results.
It doesn't have a good. That story doesn't have a good ending.
Yeah.
It is either pain, betrayal, abandoning. Something of that nature will happen if a relationship is built purely on lower tastes. Purely on lower taste. Okay. Now, what is higher taste? Quickly read. I'm running out of time.
Higher
Higher
taste
taste
characterized
characterized
by
by
calculated senses, remaining undisturbed, tasting, higher happiness, and anger, which is permanent.
See, this is something which very few people believe, that there can be some type of happiness which is permanent. Very few people have the courage also to believe this, because they're used to pleasure that they derive out of senses, out of the body, out of the senses of the body. They can't believe. And any happiness that is generated through the senses is temporary, has diminishing importance. It becomes bitter after some time, and it does not end. It's not a happy ending, and we have to pay for it. And because we are frustrated that it's not satisfying like before, when we first started it, we we become frustrated, we become confused, and we just switch from one type of lower taste to another type of lower taste. But no, Krishna says there is something called permanent happiness. My dear child, I know you like to be happy. I know you want happiness. I know you're a seeker of happiness because you're Sat Chit Ananda. You're eternal, you're full of consciousness, you seek happiness. You are Sat Chit Ananda because I am also like that. I am also like you. I also have a body which is made up of Satchit Ananda. But the difference is Krishna doesn't have a gross body. Krishna's body is only Satchit Ananda. Even I also look for happiness. But there's a big difference here. The scriptures say Krishna is a provider of happiness. We are the seeker of happiness. So what's a perfect relationship? Please remember what I'm saying. Krishna is the provider of happiness, eternal type of happiness. If we are trying to generate happiness out of senses, engaging our senses with another person, another body, another object, then that is something that we are doing on our own. And that, I told you, it's not a happy ending. It is temporary. It leads to frustration. It leads to disappointment. It leads to distaste. After some time, we start distaste. We start disliking one another. But Krishna is saying there's another type of happiness called eternal happiness, which I will provide. Only I can provide. So we seek happiness. We are always seeking happiness. Krishna is a provider of eternal happiness. So what's a perfect relationship? Tell me.
Krishna is the provider of happiness. We are the seeker of happiness.
So what should we do?
We should be engaged with Krishna. Like,
We should engage our senses in Krishna and knowing Krishna.
That's it. We should stay connected with Krishna all the time. We are seeking happiness. Krishna is the provider of happiness. Please understand, there is nobody who can provide happiness as completely satisfying as Krishna can. Because Krishna means happiness. Krishna is the original source of happiness in this world. So we seek, Krishna provides. That's a perfect match. Now, let's say two living entities, one may be male, one may be female, whatever. I am also seeking happiness. The other person is also seeking happiness. So it's like two people who are seeking happiness. Neither of them has the capacity to produce or give happiness. We're also seeking, the other person also seeking. That kind of relationship can never result in permanent happiness. Because I'm also deficit, other person is also deficit. We just fool ourselves into thinking that if I have a particular type of relationship with somebody, then I'll become happy, he or she will become happy. No, real happiness. See, I'm not saying that, there is happiness, but it's very insignificant compared to the happiness that Krishna can give us. Compared to the happiness that Krishna can give us. Do you understand what I'm saying? Is it too confusing? Vaishnavi, Sahiti, Anjali, can I have a reaction? Sushmita, Krishna provides, we seek. And the perfect relationship is with Krishna as the provider of happiness. And that relationship we can create in Kali Yuga. Primarily, it begins with chanting the names of Krishna. Tell me how that relationship starts.
Chanting the name of Krishna.
By chanting the name of Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yes. We'll elaborate this in the future chapters. Next slide. Very clearly, this is elaborated in the future chapters. Okay, this is called withdrawing the senses. So don't expose your senses unnecessarily. That means don't agitate the senses. It's like, let's say there's an animal. You just go on hanging, you just swing one, animal, let's say a meat-eating animal, and you swing some piece of flesh or meat in front of it like this. What will that animal do? You'll try to grab. So don't expose yourself to a situation where you're always agitated. Your senses are always provoked and agitated. Don't do that. Protect your senses, protect your body, protect the purity of your body. Protect. Like the tortoise withdraws its senses, you also learn the art of withdrawing your senses. Don't provoke, don't instigate, don't test, don't tempt your senses repeatedly. No need. Don't try. I'll keep all these objects that my body, my senses demand in front of me, and then I'll try to control myself. We cannot do that. We cannot. Best is to avoid such situations. Do you understand? Best is to avoid. Next slide. Yes, experiencing a higher taste. Can someone read?
Experiencing higher taste transfers to the inward soul may be restricted from sense enjoyment. The taste of sense objects remains, but ceasing such engagement by experiencing a higher taste is fixed in consciousness.
Okay, so the point is this. See, first thing we have to accept that the happiness we get by being connected with Krishna is higher form of happiness. The happiness that doesn't dwindle, that doesn't fade away, that is always there. That's a completely different type of happiness. The happiness you get by being connected with Krishna satisfies your body, your mind, your intelligence, your ego, your senses. Everything it satisfies. And it doesn't fade out. And it increases. So that's why it's called higher taste. The lower taste, the happiness goes on decreasing. The higher taste, your happiness goes on increasing. It's higher. It's higher. And you're making the first steps in understanding what is this higher taste and how do we develop a higher taste. What is the way of staying in a world of higher taste? The second chapter is introducing us to higher taste, and the later chapters will teach us how to attain that higher taste and stay in that domain, stay in that world of higher taste. Second chapter introduces us, says there is something called higher taste, the happiness you get by connecting yourself with Krishna. So that happiness is described in the later chapters. It is described, it is explained. We are shown the way to get it, how to retain ourselves in that platform where we are getting higher taste. So in the Bhagavad Gita, sequentially all these things are presented. You get it? So tell me what is presented in the next few chapters of the Bhagavad Gita. Tell me.
About the
What is
higher taste.
described?
How do
Tell me
we
what is
experience
described.
the higher
How
taste and
to
attain
high
the
sense.
divine?
How can we experience the higher taste while we are connecting with Krishna?
Correct. What is this
How
higher
to
taste?
attain
How do
higher
we
state?
experience? How does Krishna provide? To whom does Krishna provide? What are the type of people that Krishna provides this higher form of happiness? How do we stay eternally in that platform? In the later chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, I want you all to learn this, practice this, and teach this. You understand what I'm saying? I want you all to learn this science, practice it, become happy, stay happy, and teach this science of how to be happy. Does it make sense what I'm saying? This
Yes,
world,
Prabhuji, certainly.
Yes, Prabhuji.
this world is suffering people because people don't know that they can be happy. They can be very happy and they can stay happy. They can stay happy and they can teach others to be happy. How many of you want to try and do this? Learn, practice, become happy, stay happy, and teach others by connecting them to Bhagavad Gita and teach others how to be happy. Thank you very much. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. I think we have one or two more slides. We'll finish. What's drawing nonsense? Done. So Krishna is also speaking about, he's revealing a big secret here. He's saying, just as there are rivers which flow, continuously flow into the ocean and the level of the ocean does not change. Does the level of the ocean change because rivers are flowing into it? No, it doesn't. Similarly, even if there are unlimited desires that are flowing into your mind, your body, your consciousness, you will remain undisturbed. And Krishna says, I will teach you, Arjuna, how to become undisturbed, how to remain undisturbed. Incessant flow of desires, like incessant flow of the river waters, the ocean does not change its level. Normally, you open a tap bucket, it gets filled up. But the ocean, there's no such thing. It can absorb unlimited water. Similarly, your body, your mind, when it's Krishna conscious, can absorb unlimited material desires and still not be disturbed. It's a great science. You should learn this. Because in the material world, we have to learn this science and learn how to get close to Krishna. Okay, next slide. And we will teach you in the coming few chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, you learn this science. Okay, this we have already seen. We will see it in the future chapters also. What are the arguments of Arjuna saying why he won't fight and how Krishna defeats it? We'll see it in the future chapters also. Next slide. Yes, now what is there for tomorrow? Chapter 3, Karma Yoga. So Krishna is speaking about the laws of action and reaction. This is one of the most fascinating chapters. What I should do, what happens when I act, what happens when I don't act, what is the right action, how do I control my mind? Sometimes my mind is saying something, but I know it's wrong. If I do, I know I'll suffer, but I'm not able to stop it. Krishna tells Arjuna, I can understand, Arjuna, how you're feeling. Let me tell you how to get over it. Third chapter is the science of action and reaction. It's called Karma Yoga. Now that you know about the soul, now that you know your enemy is the desires, material enemy is your attraction to lower taste. And your problem is that you have not yet experienced higher taste. You're attracted to lower taste. You're tightly bound by a rope to lower taste. You're not yet aware of the higher taste. And Krishna says, I'm there to help you. I'm there to help you. Okay, that is chapter 3. Krishna starts becoming even more practical and starts giving suggestions in the next few chapters how to deal with desires, how to deal with lower tastes, how to begin experiencing higher taste, how to stay that you're always experiencing higher taste. These are the things that Krishna will teach in a very logical manner, one step after that, the next step. Next slide. See, there you are. Regulated activities, how to be renounced, how to give up, how to lead an exemplary life means how to lead a honorable life. I'm saying honorable life. I'm not saying a life where you deny happiness to yourself. No. Exemplary means showing the world how you can be happy by by accepting the path of higher taste as given by Krishna. As given by Krishna. We are not saying you don't have a right to be happy. That's not something Krishna says. Krishna says you can be happy, do it properly. And lust is the enemy. Lust means wanting to possess or enjoy some object. Wanting to possess and enjoy exclusively some object. We'll deal with that. Krishna says lust. A very silent killer. Watch out for lust. Watch out for lust. It's a very silent killer. That's also taught in the 3rd chapter. Thank you. All right. Thank you for being with me today. Now, any questions, or how many of you have started chanting 18 times daily in the morning? Now that we are moving into question, is it possible that all of you turn on your videos for a little while? I can see the wonderful faces of my students. And I can pray for all of you. Oh, I'm so happy. I can pray for all of you. Yes. Now, how many of you have started chanting? Good. Some hands are going up. 18 times in the morning. Maitri, that's all I'm asking. Sandy, Kavya, Vaishnavi, Vasam, Deepika, Vaishnavi Reddy, Aarti Biradar, all I'm asking is 18 times in the morning. Sandy, Jia, yeah, I see a lot of hands going up. So please continue chanting. And we have time maybe for 2-3 questions. Somebody can read from the chat box if there are 1 or 2 interesting questions, and I will answer.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Yesterday, a few questions were asked. Out of which one question was, is Arjuna great or Karna? How could Arjuna defeat Karna?
See, Karna's is a very sad case. Karna was cursed because he tried to cheat his guru. That's not a good thing to do. Parashurama says, I don't teach Kshatriyas. I only teach Brahmanas. Somehow Karna lied and pretended to be a Brahmana and learned from Parashurama. One day he gets caught, he gets exposed that he's not a Brahmana. So he gets cursed. So though he may be great, he may be powerful, he may be as skilled or more skilled than Arjuna, he's unfortunate because he's cursed by his own guru. So at the right time, he cannot use his strength. He will forget. And there's a bigger problem that Karna has. The bigger problem that Karna has is he makes friends with Duryodhana. And Duryodhana is a very envious person, wicked person, sinful person. And when you're in the company of someone who's wicked, sinful, envious, cruel, no matter how powerful you are, Krishna will find some way of neutralizing it. Krishna will find some way of neutralizing. So that was Karna's other problem also. He somehow sided with Duryodhana, somehow took the side of adharma. This is a big lesson for us. It may appear that people on the side of dharma are very weak, but no, don't ever give up dharma in our lives. Truthfulness, honesty, faith in Krishna, chanting the names of Krishna, following instructions of the Gita. We have to follow dharma. Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha. Krishna says, I will protect those who follow the path of dharma. I will protect. I don't care how strong he is. That's not important for me. I will protect. Arjuna was like that. Unfortunately, Karna, though he was born to Kunti and his father was the sun god, because he took the side of Duryodhana, took his help, took financial support from Duryodhana, he became unfortunate. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? It does not matter. He may have been the greatest archer, Dhanurdhari, but he is destined not to be greater than Arjuna because he took a path, a sinful path. So what do we learn from this?
Have to be on Dharma side.
Always be on Dharma. Vaishnavi Chavan, can you tell me, Sushmita, what do we learn from this?
So we should only always follow the path of Dharma.
Very nice.
Only that
Vaishnavi,
is
you
our
want to say
best.
something?
We should always follow our dharma, whatever the situation comes in our front.
Thank you very much. You're really inspiring me. Mukta Tejasvi is saying we have to always be on the path of Dharma and Bhakti. Very good. Any other question? We'll take one more question and we'll stop.
Yes, Prabhu. One more question is, out of all Pandavas, why only Bhagavad Gita was told to Arjuna?
See, Arjuna and Krishna were friends. Okay. Krishna somehow liked Arjuna a lot. With other people, with the other Pandavas, Krishna had a formal relationship. He would touch Yudhishthira's feet because in age, Yudhishthira was elder to him. Bhima also was elder. Arjuna was about his age. Nakula Sahadeva were younger to Krishna. So Krishna had a different type of relationship with Nakula Sahadeva. For Nakula and Sahadeva, Krishna was always like the big brother. He was elder to them. He was elder. Krishna was elder to Nakula Sahadeva. And Yudhishthira was a personification of Dharma. He was known as Dharmaraj. So he was very formal, very proper, formal, very grave, very serious type. Of course, Yudhishthira was also very soft nature, but he was little serious, grave type. So Krishna would always respect him because Krishna was very careful that he would respect people who are elderly. And Dharmaraja, he's the son of Dharma, Yamaraj, and he's the most pious, truthful person in the whole universe. Krishna was very careful with him. Krishna was very careful, respectful with him. Arjuna was his friend. When Arjuna fell in love, he went straight and confessed to Krishna. He says, "My dear Krishna, you got to help me. You know what? This time, please." And Krishna says, "All right. When is it that I have not helped you?" Then Arjuna confesses, "I've fallen in love with your sister, Subhadra." Krishna has a big laugh and says, "You know what a problem you're creating for me? My brother Balaram has already promised Duryodhana that he'll give my sister in marriage to him. Now, what do you want me to do? You're my friend, I need to help you. But here it is, my elder brother has promised Duryodhana that he can come and we'll get Subhadra married to him." So Krishna asks, Arjuna says, "I don't know, you're my friend, you need to work this out for me." And Krishna does big, elaborate drama to make that happen. So they're great pals. They're great friends. But please understand one thing. Krishna loves everybody more or less equally. It's not that he didn't love the rest of them. Or it's not that Krishna doesn't love us. We're all connected to Krishna in the same way in which Arjuna is connected. But Arjuna had a lively, active relationship with Krishna. We should also develop that same mood. We should also develop that same mood that Arjuna had. Okay. Some comment has come.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Somebody written a comment. I can't read that. Can someone read? Is there a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Last comment here is you are protected when dharma is protected by you.
I didn't understand. What was the question?
It was a comment, Prabhu, not a question. Akshita says you are protected when dharma is protected by you.
That's right. When you're trying to protect dharma, Krishna will protect you. Have no doubt. So if there's an advertisement saying this is a Dharma Yuddha, please come join. I would expect all of you, my students, to please kindly join. I'll also join, don't worry. Dharma Yuddha means we all should volunteer. Actually, in Kali Yuga, we fight Dharma Yuddha by chanting, simply by chanting. Okay. Any other comments before I end? There was some
One more
comment
comment.
that flashed. Some Bhavika.
Yes, Prabhu.
Somebody, is there somebody by name Bhavika?
Bhavika tells Prabhuji, I love the way you heartfully laugh. Hope someday I will also gain that happiness by Khana's grace. Hari Bol.
Oh my God. You know, I just keep telling myself that all you wonderful students are, what can I say, are right there in my room and listening to me. I keep telling myself, and I keep looking at all of you as I would look at my daughter. I have a daughter who's 21. Many of some of these girls who are attending have met her, know her also. So I just keep looking at you like that, and I'm so happy you're taking to Krishna consciousness at the right age. You'll thank Krishna, you'll thank Prabhupada all your life for bringing Krishna into your life. That's not a small thing, for bringing Krishna into your life. And you know why I laugh? Can someone tell why I laugh? You know why I laugh?
Because Krishna wants me to laugh.
I don't know what Krishna wants, but there's a simple, straightforward answer. I laugh.
You are connected with Krishna. You're completely connected with Krishna.
Oh, that's a very flattering answer. You're flattering me by saying I'm completely connected to Krishna. I don't know about that. You know why I laugh? It's simple, straightforward answer. When do you laugh? Okay, I'll answer now. I'll question you. When do you laugh?
When you're happy.
That's it. I laugh because I'm happy doing this. And I bet every one of you who will take to practice of Krishna consciousness, you will not stop laughing. Even if funny things happen in your life, you'll laugh it off. I remember so many funny things happened in my life. So many crazy things I've done, so many mistakes I've done, but I just remember and I laugh it off. I said, Krishna, you made me look like a fool. You made me look like a fool, but I just kind of laugh it off.
Prabhuji, one question.
Yeah, I laugh because I'm happy. Wait, let me complete. And I want all of you to laugh all the time in your life, all your life. And I bet you'll do it if you bring Krishna into your life. Just be with us for the next 18 days. Already 3 days are over. Just 15 more days. You won't stop laughing. Okay, what's the next question? Baba, you are getting late. Is it okay? Don't blame me afterwards. This Prabhuji doesn't let us sleep in time and like that. Yeah, what's the question?
Just one last question, Prabhuji.
What's your name? Introduce yourself.
Bhavika Sharma, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Bhavika, tell me. Where are you? I can't see your face.
Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Oh, there you are, Bhavika. Tell me. Where are you from? Where are you speaking from?
From Hyderabad only.
Okay. Tell me, what's your question?
Question, like just now you said that you'll be happy always. In any situation you got angry or you were like, ऐसे how could I? ऐसे गुस्सा आया कभी कृष्णा जी पे, like whatever I am thinking, it's not happening like that.
I'll answer this question after Karma Yoga chapter.
Okay.
After third chapter, actually fifth chapter also Karma Yoga. After the fifth chapter, I'll answer this question. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.